Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us here at Earth and Sky. Those of you joining us online, we really appreciate your likes, your loves, your feedback, your comments, your shares. It really means the world to us as we're growing our little piece of Earth and Sky
YouTube world
here in Michigan.
And Facebook world.
And so today, speaking of really appreciating the likes, the loves, and the shares, today we're talking about confidence. So do you feel like you are a confident person?
So,
it just kind of feels like, if you feel like you get a little love back.
like if we're confident, then people will share us more?
or we feel a little more confident when we get those likes from people.
Oh, we get...
You shouldn't base it just on the likes.
I got you, so yeah.
That's what we're going to get into. That's the meat
I
of
feel
it.
so low and I just can't make it. Please share this.
See, now if that's the attitude, probably you're not going to get very many shares because you're resonating that energy of, please like me, I don't like myself.
Needy.
You don't want to be needy.
Don't want to be needy.
But you do want to project an air of confidence that also is balanced with the right amount of humility.
Absolutely.
Humbleness.
Yeah. Well, because, too much confidence is actually like egotism.
Exactly, and that's not what we're getting into today.
No.
We're actually going to probably be breaking out some of this into a couple more segments that we'll be following. So this is going to be a little bit of a quick overview of what's to come for the next couple weeks.
High view level. Yeah.
Exactly. So it seems like there are a lot of people that may be lacking a little bit in confidence, or they want to. I know it really feels like most people, and sometimes they'll project the air of, I'm confident. But when you really get to know them, you can see right beneath that, and they don't believe in themselves.
No, they know how to fake it.
Yeah, and I think this sometimes starts at an early age, too, where we don't feel like we have the confidence that we need. Sometimes it's older, later in life that gets shaken. Sometimes it's in grade school it gets shaken. It's different for everybody, but it just seems like there's a lot of lack with a lot of young people, a lot of young adults, and a lot of older adults, too. It's everybody.
I think it's pretty much everybody.
Really is.
Most people have at least some form of self-esteem / confidence issue.
And there's this line that people walk to where they feel like if you say you're confident or if you say you like yourself, then that can be a bad thing. And that should not be a bad thing. Yeah. We should all like ourselves, and we should like the people that are around us.
Well, I think plain and simple, the people that tell other people that you shouldn't care about yourself, you shouldn't like yourself, you shouldn't tell yourself you love yourself, it's pretty simple that they have such loathing for themselves that they are just trying to spread the pain.
And they're afraid to see that. And they're afraid to go into that type of a thing,
and
too.
The idea of somebody else being that happy, I think, would really bother them.
Yeah, and so what kind of spurred our thought on this live talk was when I was talking to someone just recently.
Oh, never mind.
Not you this time. Healthy dose of confidence here, and that's okay. So in seriousness, I was talking to somebody and she was talking about her granddaughter being in town. It's a teenager, and teenagers a lot of times can have self-esteem issues, but she was visiting her parent locally, and she had put on the bathroom mirror where in her parents' house that she lives in another state, but she was visiting the parent that lives here. So she had put on the bathroom mirror a note that said, "You are beautiful" on the mirror.
Nice.
This is a great
That's
thing,
a great
right?
idea,
This is one of the things I've taught a lot of people in my classes. Well, the mother actually had come in and seen that and got irate with the daughter. She laid into her, said, "You should never talk about yourself that way. Where do you get off putting notes about yourself like this?" And just really tore her apart, really devastated her.
Spread the pain.
Exactly. And so, what my first thought was, that's amazing to have a teenager writing a note like this. As adults, this is our therapy. We learn you have to write notes to yourself. I'm beautiful.
That's supposed to be when you grow up. You start learning these tools as you get older, but a teenager jumping into that.
For her to feel that, to know that. And I think that's something we need to instill in a lot of people is to know that you are beautiful, you're amazing, and there's so much more beneath the surface. Everybody has a story. Everybody needs to figure out what your passion is and raise your confidence within yourself and lift other people up too. We see far too often where people drag other people down, exactly like you said, spreading the pain. It's not about spreading the pain, it's about raising each other up. I think that's one of the things I really love about some of the women's groups that I've seen where they're empowering each other other, and they're raising each other up. They're letting each other know, hey, we're in this together. Let's move on.
It actually makes you feel better about yourself, which is so funny but the more you help other people feel better, at first you may feel a little awkward about it, but it will always make you feel better in the end. You feel better about who you are as a person, which in itself will reinforce the idea of self-confidence and self-worth.
Yeah, I'm seeing this somewhat with some of the dad groups out there now too. There's a little bit of a growing trend, which is great, of dads with daughters.
Oh,
and so they're doing things like
awesome.
taking them to sporting events, braiding their hair, and
Yep.
sharing with other dads what they're doing. And in our generation, it was more that, I mean, not necessarily your family, yours was great, but a lot of families with...
but the dads do with the boys and the moms do with the girls.
Exactly, and dads were a little bit more out of touch as a general. They
If
were
they-
working and, doing that aspect, but not necessarily hands-on with the kids. And so to see these dads empowering each other and bringing it out as a confidence thing of, hey, we can engage, we can raise the confidence in our kids.
We can help raise these kids.
Simply by having fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and so there's all these different ideas. Confidence is really a beautiful thing to have. And there is, of course, a margin of the balance, because humbleness and humility is important too, as you mentioned. Otherwise you're talking about egoism. We're not trying to make anybody like an egotistical or narcissistic or anything like that.
Well, that's its own thing.
Well, that's true.
But
there's this healthy balance in the middle of having humbleness, knowing that just because you love yourself and you know you're a great person doesn't mean that somebody else isn't.
Right.
When you have confidence, you actually see the good about everybody else, and you want to raise that up more. But to have confidence, you really need to know your worth.
In that real quick, that's part of the problem, I think, for most people, the idea of it's that comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I compared to this person on TV, these movie stars, what I think of these other people, like what I'm seeing of them. And you don't actually know, one, what's going on in the other people. So you really don't have a fair association of what is actually going on. And comparing yourself to others is actually a huge drawback.
Yes.
Because
then you're creating a winning and a losing element.
Exactly. There's one's going to be better, one's going to be worse. And that's not the case. I mean, people are so complex, and we have so many facets of what we are amazing at, and what situation you're standing in, and what, I mean, there are so many facets to life that the idea of comparing yourself to somebody else in any situation it's nothing but a derogatory way to approach things.
Exactly. Absolutely. And you never want to create that situation where there's a power dynamic with it too.
Exactly.
Everybody is unique and special in their own way. So figure out where you're special.
Yeah. Compare yourself
and let
to
it radiate.
you is anything you should do.
Yeah. Always striving to be better than you were yesterday too. That's a great thing. But loving who you were yesterday too. Because even when we're in our challenging parts of our lives, there's still things that we're contributing with value.
Exactly.
And when you learn better, you do better. Teaching people how to treat you definitely comes in with confidence too.
It's easier to do with confidence, for sure.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise you might be letting people kind of run over you in life, not treat you well, and in turn you don't feel as well, and you start maybe treating other people poorly too. And then that cycle just kind of continues. Instead, switch over to the side where you recognize that you deserve to be treated well. You have value, you have worth. And
draw lines in the sand of, I will only accept X from so-and-so. I will only accept this from somebody else. I will only, and lay out those groundworks in your head.
Boundaries.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's an important thing. And in doing that, you're going to also start treating other people better too.
Absolutely.
And I see some people where they feel like they almost play the martyr role, where they're wanting to take care of everybody else, but not take care of themselves and not let people treat them well. And it's important to teach people how to treat you. Do you do that with your actions, not with your words? And then you had come up with 3 really interesting points, and this is where we're going to expand more in later talks about these, but you had 3-step plans of how do you build confidence. So it's great to know about confidence. It's great to think, well, I should have some more confidence. I should think better about myself. I should have people treat me better.
what do I do to get,
Now
how do I
what?
get there? Yeah, how do I get to that point?
So the first step is liking
So,
yourself.
yeah, well, yeah, and so, well, that was, I mean, confidence in a whole, self-esteem comes with self-esteem, all of that kind of has to be bundled together. And so, I mean, that's the idea of your ability to just walk up and look in the mirror and just go, I like that. You know, I'm okay with that. That's a good thing. If you can look at yourself and go, yeah, that's good. I mean,
Yeah, that's big for a lot of people. I can't even tell you how many people, probably more than half of the people that I've seen in classes or readings and all of that, probably a little bit more than half say they can't look in the mirror and say, I like you to themselves.
Which goes back to the teenage girl.
The no.
I mean, that's the
yes.
no. I mean, you are beautiful. You know,
and it's true.
You look up, you read that, and you're staring at yourself. I mean, that's one of those baby steps to get there, but you need to get there. I mean, that is because if you don't like what you see in the mirror, the idea of self-esteem is more like, it's like faith. It's faith in yourself. Faith that I can, faith that I will when I need to, faith that I have, you know, what I need in me. It's a faith in yourself, and that faith, you can't have faith in anybody that you don't like, that you don't have any regards for. And so that goes double for yourself. As long as you have to first like yourself, and then you can go, well, I not only like myself, but I also, you know, there's some faith that can go with that.
We judge ourselves so harshly.
Which would be,
in our culture.
And
Yeah,
that's
very much so.
That's the second step.
So, sorry. And with the first step too, it starts with respecting yourself too. That's a big key part of it. And yeah, and so step two.
So we judge ourselves very harshly. And so, I mean, so if this is your, I'm not good, I'm not bad, your complete neutrality is here. This, you believe you are an amazing person. Then you have your neutral. This is where most people are at, and they walk into every situation and they expect this. I should do this. I should be able to do all of these things, not amazing, perfect. And everything that doesn't go perfect, all it does is it takes this and it just beats it down. It just keeps beating it down because you have unrealistic expectations. You have unrealistic points of view of what have I done, because the only thing you focus on is what did I do wrong. That's it. That's the only important part. You actually don't care at all about what did I do right. And that is the initial biggest issue, is setting expectations for yourself that are reasonable. Try and hit that neutral. Okay, if you know, when I go into a situation, did I not throw things in my friends that I'm sitting at the table with? Did I not throw food in their face? Hey, that's a reasonable.
Hey, if I do that on occasion, is that really bad?
Well, no, but if you go in and you expect that you won't and you don't, then you hit that.
Okay.
And that's what you focus on. You focus on, you know, you set reasonable expectations and then you focus on those things. And that is where setting those expectations, setting what I'm actually capable of accomplishing, set that as your goal. Don't set it if you know every time you're going to have people over to your house, if you know you're not going to do the dishes, and every time people come over and you go, God, I'm such a horrible person, they must think so horribly of me because somebody who happened to walk by the kitchen and I know they had to have seen I have dirty dishes. I know they had to have seen that. And oh my God, I'm such a horrible person. And that's, outside of that, everything else that you wanted to have done was done.
Right. Right.
Why is it that's the only thing?
So,
yeah, why is that the only thing that you think of? Because it wasn't perfect.
Right.
And that's where those expectations are. You have to pull those back down. You have to pull them to a point where you can go, what is reasonable? What is important to me? And those are the things that I want to hit. Those are the goals I want to hit.
Right.
And that's when you strive for those. And then suddenly you will...
And those are unique for each person.
Yep.
Your goal shouldn't be what you see somebody else achieve. No? This is something, we'll break this out into a much longer thing later, but there's so much that really does go into that. I know that for myself, I like to set goals that push me a little bit, but that I know I can push past though.
She pushes a lot, but she actually hits them.
And
That's
so,
the part that gets me,
and
though.
what, and the important thing with that though is exactly what step 3 is too, with what you focus on.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it literally is just that simple. So when you hit those goals, even you set reasonable goals, when you hit them, those are the ones you remember. We have such a tendency to only remember the negative. When you hit those goals, those are the ones you remember. The ones you don't hit, forget about it. Like literally, they didn't matter. Act like they didn't even happen. Why? Because remembering those negative things will do nothing positive for you for the rest of your life.
And
Nothing.
what you focus on, you attract. So the more you focus on the positive, the more good is going to come into
Yep.
your life as well.
Absolutely.
And it's shaping up the memories that you have. Memory is quite an interesting thing because they've done so many studies where people will remember a situation, everybody was present, everybody was part of what went on, and they will all have vastly different memories of the situation.
Yep.
It's what we focus on, it's what we bring in, it's what we remember. It's not that somebody was right or wrong about it. Some of the
It's what you-
details might be a little skewed, but
Doesn't matter.
none of that matters when it comes down to it.
It only
It's the
matters-
fact of the feeling and the essence that you have within it.
Yeah.
And
And where
that's
you-
what will last with you.
And where you're directing your life.
Exactly.
And the way you direct your life is what you remember in your head, what you focus on in your head, what you think of yourself directs every day of your life.
So if you focus on the positive,
The
you focus on
positive, yep.
remembering what worked, remembering what was good with it,
Yep.
and then letting go of the
Yep.
rest. You can always use some of those other things as teachable moments. Sure, there's certain things you might go, gosh, I could have done that a little bit better, or well, now I know this, but you let it go
You
with
let it
that.
go.
And
Yep.
you don't dwell on it,
Nope.
and you don't beat yourself up over
Because
it.
it won't, because it doesn't
None
help.
of that will do any good.
And it will do nothing positive for you.
But it will do a lot of good for you if you remember what worked,
Yep.
what went well.
Yep.
Think about the good memories
Yep.
of it. And I hope this gives you a little taste of what's to come. I hope
Baby
it
steps.
helps to inspire you to feel confident in yourself and to know it's a good thing to know that you have a lot of worth, to know that you're a good person. Some of the other little simple things that can help with that sometimes are affirmations. Sometimes we have to kind of fake it till you
Fake
make
it till you make
So
it.
you say affirmations, or you put those notes on your mirror. It's a very
Yep.
powerful thing
It is.
to put positive notes on the mirror. Whatever it is you're struggling with, believing in yourself,
Yep.
write it in the affirmative and put it on your mirror. When you see your reflection and you read it, that's going to start sinking it in, so you'll be able to really know it, feel it, live it, believe it. And knowing what your good traits are is a really good thing too. Everybody has positives and negatives, but
Well, and that's
knowing
what-
what your good traits are.
And that's when you look at your traits, the traits that you think are negative are only negative in certain contexts.
Exactly.
There is for everything that you think is a negative trait, for every situation, for every idea that you go, I do this and that's not a good thing, there is a situation out there that when you do that, it actually becomes a strength.
Right, yeah. I tend to be very, very stubborn sometimes, but
Very.
I've turned that into really good things a lot
Absolutely.
of times.
It works out in your favor, yes, which is why your stubbornness is why you reach those ridiculous goals that you set sometimes, because you are so stubborn you won't give up.
And so you could turn everything into a
It's
positive in your
all
life.
how you look at it.
The last thought that I'm going to leave you with for today
Okay.
is to think about what your passion is. So as you're getting to know what are your good traits, what can you believe in within yourself, what can get you excited, where is your passion? What are you passionate about? What gets you excited to wake up in the morning? What keeps you awake at night because you feel passionate about it? And when it's going on and you're thinking about it, it just gets you excited about it.
Actually, in the comments below, if you get a chance, tell us what you are passionate about, if you want to. I would really, because that's something I would find very interesting to see what people actually are, what they consider,
I like it.
what is their passion.
I like it.
I would, yeah.
Tell us what your passion is.
Tell us what your passion is.
And then I want you to make your passion your superpower. And so, because everybody can have a superpower.
Absolutely.
And I think superheroes are a fantastic thing to strive for.
Absolutely.
And so if you figure out what you're passionate about, what gets you excited, later we're going to talk about how to turn that into your superpower. But you need to know what your passion is first. So let us know what your passion is. That's going to help give us some examples as we break out the next series over the next couple of weeks. I hope you have a fantastic week. Enjoy this beautiful summer weather that's going on. Get out in nature. Go take a walk in a forest. Leave your worries and your stresses behind. If you're struggling with confidence, get out in nature and just feel the life of the trees around you. You can't help but to feel the joy that's going to come up if you're out in that setting, and know that the same strength that's within those trees is a strength that's within you, and you are beautiful.
Or go out and be around people. If that makes you better than nature, just a thought.
Whatever makes you excited. Tell us what your passion is. Remember to like, share, or give us a love on this video, and any feedback, comments, or questions. Thank you. Have a great week.